Good afternoon. You are watching the Smithsonian Latino Virtual Museum. My name is Dr. Xochitl Chavez, and I am here honored to be with a longtime family friend and community, I would say your family is a community activist also on the East Side. Pero antes que empezamos, bienvenidos, estás mirando al Smithsonian Latino Virtual Museum. Tengo el gran honor de estar aquí con una amiga de mi familia, también de la señora Phyllis Robinson. Viene de una familia muy activista aquí en el lado este, or affectionately known as, well, Eastwood Heights, also known as Dog Patch. Right. We're here in Pueblo, Colorado, where we're going to be making another traditional dish that we may see within Latino Mexicano communities across the United States. Could you tell us a little bit about the dish that we'll be seeing today?
Yes, it's one of my favorite recipes that I share with my loved ones. It's called my special polvorones, and that's what we're going to make today.
Great. And before we move on to the dish, could you tell us just a little bit about Pueblo, Colorado, and specifically the history of the East Side?
Oh yes, absolutely. Just that it's a loving. I mean, not you hear lots of stuff going on in Pueblo of the violence and stuff, but that's not all true for all of the families here. We are close knit families, and we share a lot of our traditions and our customs.
Great. Well, thank you very much. May we join you in your kitchen?
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. We'll follow you over there.
Welcome. Bienvenidos a todos.
All right. So what we see here, what is our main ingredients that we will be needing to make polvorones?
Okay. One of the main ingredients is the lard that we use. And this is a recipe that was given to me by a friend, and I promised that I would not share the recipe, but I'll let you know what ingredients is in that recipe. There's lard, flour, egg yolks, sugar, and baking soda. And that's basically it. It's a very simple recipe Mexican cookies, and they are very delicious. Everybody tells me that, not only because I make them, but I get lots of compliments.
Well, bueno, just to provide a little bit of translation for our viewers. So lo que tenemos aquí es manteca, tal vez una caja de manteca. También tenemos azúcar. Parece que sea 3 tazas.
Sí.
Y tenemos, parece como una docena de
egg yolks.
Oh, ok. De la yema del huevo.
Y harina.
Y harina. Parece que son como 5 tazas, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ok. Y también tenemos el baking soda.
Sí, nomás un poquito.
Okay, muy bien. Okay, so now that we have our ingredients of lard, sugar, a dozen eggs, white flour, and baking soda, would you tell us how it's the process?
Sure. What's important about polvorones is, and this takes some time, is you need to have the lard cold. It's got to be cold right from your fridge. And so the blending part of the lard, it takes a minute, but I'm using this to blend it because it's pretty cold on the hands. Once you get this all blended up, and it looks like it's pretty good there.
Uno de los claves que tiene que hacer una persona es tener la manteca como entre todavía fría, porque uno tiene que mezclarla. Entonces este es un proceso que toma un poco de tiempo, donde la señora Phyllis está mezclando con una machucadora de frijoles o de papa. También uno puede usar sus manos si gustan.
And once you have it blended completely, which that looks like it's pretty blended, you add your sugar. And you'll blend in your sugar.
Así estamos mezclando la azúcar. Do you normally use a mixer or do your hands?
I use my hands, but today I was going to, just for this process, and now from now on, I will be using my hands to get it completely blended.
So el primer paso se usó una machucadora, pero ahorita desde que se agregó el azúcar, la señora Phyllis se va a usar sus manos para mezclar todo. So can you tell me a little bit? I'm very interested in hearing about maybe some Christmas stories or any kind of traditions that your family, I know you come from a very well-respected family, the Guerrero family from Eastwood Heights. What type of Christmas dishes did you all share growing up? And if you could tell us a little bit about your parents.
Sure. My parents are Sam and Connie Guerrero. That's how you would say that. And they both were very active in the community, in the dog patch community, Eastwood Heights. They were involved in the church, St. Anne's. Both of them were, on parish council and various um, things that brought them to be involved in the church as well as the politics in the city. My dad was instrumental on having CDBG finally give a grant for the handicap ramp at St. Anne's Parish. My mother was instrumental, and so was my dad, in the programs and getting the school renamed from Eastwood Elementary to Eva Arbaca. And so those are kind of the things that my parents have done, and they've taught us to just share our traditions and always keep them alive. And so I feel my parents are here with me today.
Nice. And I know that also a room was just recently named in honor of Sam and Connie.
That's right, and one of the most important things it was just completed a year anniversary on the 13th of December. So there is a conference room in their name as well.
And which library is this located?
And that's the Patrick Lucero Library here across from Risley Middle School. Okay, I've got that pretty blended now.
Okay.
And then,
so I can get a close-up shot there.
The sugar's blended in there.
So we've added about 5 cups of sugar, if I may guess there, since we have family secret recipes being shared here. And then we have maybe at least a good full brick of manteca.
Sure, that's right. So if I could just wipe my hands off a little bit. So I could, and then we will add the egg yolks.
Okay.
To this mixture as well. The egg yolks do need to be mixed. Okay.
Después que uno se mezcla la manteca y azúcar, lo que vamos a agregar ahorita es la yema de 12 huevos. Y ahorita la señora Phyllis lo está mezclando muy bien.
Slightly. Yeah. Slightly beaten.
So slightly beaten egg yolks. Así lo mezcla con un tenedor por un ratito. Y aquí estamos haciendo polvorones estilo del sur de Colorado con Phyllis Robinson.
And then that mixture is mixed into the sugar and the lard.
And with the, so just the egg yolks are used for this recipe?
Just egg yolks, yeah.
Okay.
We don't use the egg whites. And once again, we will blend this.
Okay.
The egg yolks with the sugar and the lard.
And your preferred method is by hand?
Absolutely. It's easier. You can always wash your hands. That's getting blended in.
So by hand mixture, you do this for maybe about a minute or so?
Probably. Yeah, about a minute and a half.
And as you were mentioning before, it's really important to make sure that the manteca stays in kind of a consistency, right? That isn't too melted.
Right, right. And that's why it's very important to start with cold lard. It's got to be lard, cold. Okay, that's pretty blended right there. I'll wipe my hands off again. Excuse me. Okay, that's one part of the recipe. The other part is the flour part. So they're in 2 separate containers. You mix them in 2 separate bowls, and the important part of the flour is it has to be sifted.
Oh,
They're called polvorones, and what does polvo mean?
powdered.
Powder. And so that's what gives them that consistency. If you get one of the cookies and just hold it in your hand, you can make actually a handful of powder out of it.
Wow,
So,
okay.
but that's
So, uno de los pasos muy importante, como dice que es polvorones, tenemos que pasar la harina
mhm
y que sea que salga por una de estos.
a sifter. Did I do it right? I might even have it wrong. And this is sifting the flour.
So that's through about 4 cups.
Mhm. About that much.
And you mentioned earlier that you make polvorones to give to family members.
I do.
And then you have nieces and nephews that contact you if you haven't shared with them.
My niece Selena is very sad with me because they haven't gotten theirs yet this Christmas. I made some, but I took them to one of my clients that I do home care for, and so that's what happened. So I promised her after today that she would get some of her tia's polvorones.
Oh, great. So these ones are specially made for Selena's family.
Pretty much anything for Selena's, right?
Yes.
So she will get them. She says, Auntie, I always remember you used to give me some in a plate for my boys and my husband, and then my own little special bag for me. So that's the flour, and it's all sifted. And then I'm going to put very little soda. And that's basically the recipe.
Después de mezclar la harina, lo que hace la señora Phyllis es que se agregó baking soda o levadura, baking soda, como 2 cucharadas, que era un cuarto, y ahora lo está mezclando. Aquí hemos notado que varias comunidades, pues hay personas que le van a usar la máquina, pero aquí con nuestra programación hemos visto que no hay tanto una medida exactamente y las familias lo están haciendo mezclando con mano o con cucharas porque a su gusto le gustan la textura que sale su comida así.
Now, after we've done all that, let me peek at this and make sure everything, yep. Okay, we make like a well in the flour, like a well. And what we're going to do is put this mixture in the center of the well. And then bring it together.
Lo que hizo la señora Phyllis es con la harina, se hizo como un hoyito en el centro y mezcló la manteca que contenía también el huevo y azúcar. Y ahora con su puro mano le ves que lo está mezclando en vez de máquina, como hemos contado así con varias familias que le gusta más así mezclar la comida tocando los ingredientes.
So our mixture is getting pretty close to the texture you need.
And what is the type of texture that you are wanting to achieve?
Well,
right there?
it's kind of like I say, it's polvorones that they're like made from, they polvo is put. This texture is kind of like this. You don't have it like a cake mix is mixed up. You'll have like some lumps, but you want the flour all to be mixed in there. So it's getting close to that texture that I need. It'll all hold together once I get the majority of the flour from the bottom mixed up. So that's basically it. And A lot of people add color to your polvorones just because, you know, it's the holiday cookies. You don't have to, but I usually do. I'll put some, maybe a few drops of red, and then I'll put some, I'll divide, sometimes I divide up the dough, and I put half red and half green. So it just depends.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. You do some sectioning of the masa.
Yeah, but today I'll just use red. And you don't really need the food coloring at all, just a little tradition.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen polvorones before. So see, it's kind of like that. And sometimes I may, if the texture is just not, if it's too moist,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I may need to add like a little handful. That's why I have flour, just to bring it to the right texture. But that's not measured. It's just like you said.
By eyeballing it.
Right. And you don't always need it, but sometimes you do because it didn't come out. All right. See, that's about good.
Oh, I see the texture has changed significantly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is also one, like when it's off your hand, you'd be able to slide it off of your hand very quickly.
Right. Mm-hmm. See, I need to make sure everything's mixed up in the very bottom. There we go. That's pretty good.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm. So now I'll just add a drop or 2 or 3 of red food coloring.
Okay. And how many dozens does this recipe yield?
Probably about 8.
8 dozens.
8 to 10, yes. Depending on what size. Now, polvorones, they're very rich. We know lard is very rich, and it's not the best for our hearts, but they're delicious. So you can make polvorones like real petite, because they're so rich, you know. So it depends. But if you make them just a normal size, yeah, about 8 dozen. 8 to 10 dozen. All right, and I'm going to get some red food coloring out, and just a couple drops maybe. And sometimes I put the gloves on that I have for cooking, just so it doesn't get into my hands, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, that was more than 3 or 4 drops, but. And there's the drops of red, and you'll see in a minute. It doesn't turn it all, but just parts of it. Like stripes.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Oh.
You're not going to make it all red, just to have a little color in it.
Oh, I see. Lo que agregó ahorita era un poquito de colorante del color rojo para darle un poquito, aunque sea un poquitito de color de navideña, rojo o verde. No es suficiente colorante para que sea completamente rojo, nomás para que se da como unas, pues, toques de color mezclado en la masa.
Let's see. Now you're ready to make your cookies.
Okay, and do you need space to roll it out?
No, actually, this is just, you make a whole, this is what I like my grandsons around for when they helped me the other day. Is you make a whole bunch of balls, just like that, about a handful. That makes a nice size cookie. Like I said, if you wanted to expand the dough and make 12, 13 dozens, you're going to make a smaller ball, obviously. But that's what you do, is just roll them. And
el siguiente paso es nomás hacer como
bolitas,
unas bolitas. Eso es lo que le gusta cuando tiene a sus nietos aquí, porque ayudan en este proceso de hacer las bolitas. Y uno puede hacer las bolitas más grandes o más chiquitos si quieren que se rinda bastante bizcocho, pues galletitas de polvorones.
Okay, and I'll put a dozen to bake.
Okay.
And the way you make your cookie look like a polvorón is you're going to get your dough, and it's round, your little ball, and then with your palm of your hand, make sure that it forms out like that.
Oh, so with the heel of, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of your hand.
And then you squish.
Yep.
Así para que su receta de la señora Phyllis es que cuando se hacen las bolitas, para que salga así, su toque es con la mano, la aplasta.
Mm-hmm.
Aquí vamos a hacer nomás una bandeja de polvorones. Así de muestra, pero todavía la señora Phyllis tiene que hacer sus polvorones para su sobrina Salina.
Mm-hmm.
Y aquí la última de la bandeja.
Okay.
Y podemos verlo más así cerquita. As we can see, there is a little bit of the red coloring that we saw, just to add a little flair. And what is the temperature that you cook the polvorones at?
Okay. I preheated my oven to 350, and they're baked for 15 minutes. I check them at 15, and then if they look like they need longer, then I leave it another 2 or 3 minutes. But usually 15 minutes at 350 degrees.
So, así 350 grados. La dejamos por 15 minutos.
Mm-hmm.
Pues ahorita tomamos un breve corte mientras cocinan los polvorones, and then we'll return right when the polvorones are ready so we can see what they look like as a finished product.
Nice.